Hey everybody, it's Matt from Casually Crafted 3D again, and we're going to talk about another third-party transformer. This is Hyena or RF-L03 from Rising Force. This is their Dragstrip for their Stunticon set. This is a third release in the bunch. This one I believe had a heck of a wait time. We got the first two members, and it took forever to get this one out. But yeah, I mean the box is the same as the other ones. It's small, just the right size to fit him in alt mode. But pretty simple stuff. I would show you the instructions that he comes with, except for some reason mine didn't come with any instructions. I don't know if they just moved to like QR thing or something, but I had to just kind of Google a YouTube video on how to transform him because he didn't actually come with instructions for mine. So I'm sure that it's just a discrepancy with mine. And here he is. He comes just, like I said, packaged just like this in his alt mode. I went ahead and I put a faction label on the front there, so ignore that. That wouldn't normally be on him. But yeah, I mean, it looks okay. It's a funky drag strip car. he's not really supposed to be anything realistic, I don't think, but this is kind of what he looked like in the cartoon. I feel like the profile of it looks a little funky, though, in my opinion. I think this just looks like it's maybe raised a little too high. Magic Squares is a little bit more flush, which I definitely like more, but this is fine. As far as the paint, got a nice the strip, the racing stripe down it, but that's really it. This part's painted, this is painted, this is painted. This isn't actually like metal, but it is a nice painted silvery type of color on that plastic there. Plastic wheels, so not rubber, but they're fine, they roll. On the underside, unfortunately, his head showing. Ugh. Was really hoping that they would fix it with this release, but seems like it's going to be like that for all of them. And again, there's no way that you can kind of turn the head around and hide it, because the panel here actually, you know, it goes a certain way on this, so there's no way to hide the head, unfortunately. But it is what it is. He's going to come with this. He's going to come with a gun here. Now, something to note with these, with this weapon, is there was actually an error when they were producing this one. So this gun I'm actually not going to use at all because this peg here is too large for him to put into his hands. It will literally break his hands if you try to force it in. Same thing with this little hole here where it's supposed to plug into. It is too big. So you would have to really shave this down to get it to work correctly. But luckily, later on, they gave us a different gun. With this one actually comes with Motor Master, which I will put a video out if I haven't already on here shortly, but the peg is a bit smaller. So now with this gun, we can do what we were supposed to. It can fit into that little hole without much force, and he'll be able to hold it just fine. So just wanted to point that out. This gun that he has, that he's included with, does not really work. So just wanted to put that out there. So we'll just get right into transformation because it's pretty simple. Again, I didn't have instructions, so I just kind of had to figure it out myself, but it's not that big of a deal. So for the hands here, these little parts right here, just kind of push, and then we can flip the hand down to kind of unlock this back section here. And then they're going to unpeg right here from what will be the legs. And then instead of just pulling it, we're going to need to actually separate the legs first off of these pegs here, and then this little engine block piece will flip up over that part. And then we can extend that to get it kind of out of the way for transformation. So open up the legs a little bit, and then we're just going to kind of get these out of the way. And then this whole panel here rotates on that joint here to open up that part. We're going to kind of flip that to get out of the way. And then this is where it can get kind of weird. We're going to kind of bring this down to kind of get everything kind of out of the way here. And then this panel here is going to, come on, there we go, separate it from here off of this little post here, and then this whole section is going to rotate around, and this section is going to come up like this, kind of collapsing onto that, and then this little hole here is going to go on that little peg. It's going to kind of just push together on that, and then you just close that back up, putting that peg in that little slot, and then you just bring up the little spoiler for the foot. So doing so again, gonna kind of flip this panel up, and then we're gonna kind of separate from here, pull all this down, fold that back up, peg it together, close the panel, put the foot up. Straight everything out, rotate the waist, and then we'll just, actually don't rotate the waist, we actually need it like this, and then just push that back together. So for up here, we're going to separate these little sections here for the wheels off of that part, and then we're going to kind of push this, and it's actually plugged into the head somewhat tightly. Might actually need to use a spudger to get it off. There we go. So yeah, it's actually plugged into the head on that little post. So we're just going to kind of bring that back out of the way. And then these arms are going to, you kind of have to rotate them here, but I almost always pull them off on accident. But you got to rotate them this way while also kind of rotating the shoulder part here. Or I'm sorry, you're going to want to rotate here. So kind of rotate like halfway, and then this whole section here will turn around like this. So now you can kind of rotate it all the way around like that. So it's a little tricky. I always pop them off here at this part because it's kind of weird to do it, but you just rotate it like this, so now the ball joint is like free moving, and then you can slide them up into place. And then these parts here just flip down, these get pushed forwards like this, and then collapse against the arm like that. So again, moving it like that and moving it like that. And then this section here rotates independently from here, so just kind of grab this and swirl it all the way around. These parts here will fold in like this, kind of collapse them, get out of the way, and then this whole section will just sit onto his back like that. And the head is actually on a little joint here, so you can position it farther back on the torso. Again, these parts coming undone. And then the forearms here, you just kind of straighten them out and rotate the wrists into their correct orientation. And there he is. There we go. So right off the bat, for me, I do not like the proportions of this guy at all. He's real small, skinny arms. His chest, what the hell is going on with his chest, man? What is that? Ay. I'm not a fan of that. The legs look fine. The legs actually have a, that nice transformation. I don't mind that at all, but, oof. I'm not a fan of how the proportions look on this guy. But the head too. The head is just not the greatest. He's got like a kissy face or something going on. The visor is nice, I suppose, but I don't know. This one's not vibing with me. Definitely don't like the arms either. Just I mean, the feel is nice. The plastic is great. The plastic on all these guys have been great. It's just my problems with the proportions, really. But we'll just get right into articulation. The head, like I said, it does have that kind of joint here to bring the head back and forth, so you can kind of use it to bend the head forwards and then back a little bit. And then it is on a ball joint, so you can get all your posability you want from that, 360 degrees, tilting back and forth and stuff. Shoulders here are on ball joints that actually recess into the torso, so you can get a pretty good range of movement on those. You know, flipping 360 degrees around, flip up about that far, but it's not too bad. If you want to count it, you can also, bring the arm in on that joint that's actually on the upper arm, but up here in the arm is again another one of these kind of like weird ball joints that are kind of like mushroom joint or mushroom pegs, but you can get 360 degrees on that, though it does it wants to kind of bend inwards whenever you do it, but you can get 360 degree rotation on that. For the elbow, you can get a little over 90 degrees. The wrist is a ball joint, so it does what ball joints do. For the waist, 360 degree rotation there. For the hips, about that far forwards and about that far back as far as you need it to, and it goes out all the way. You have a mushroom peg, actually a double mushroom peg, I think, for the rotation here at the thigh. So you can get your 360 degree rotation there, although mine seems to pop out all the time on these. It does it on both legs. See, it just comes out like super easy when you go to rotate it. It's not like the tolerances are bad or anything. It just pops out when it rotates. I don't know if the peg is kind of warped or something. But here for the leg, you do get a single joint knee, 290 degrees. And then for the foot, the toe can move because it's just the spoiler, so you can tilt that down pretty far. And then we do have an ankle tilt. So yeah, articulation is not too bad. Pretty good tolerances. As far as the weapons, obviously this is the one that he comes with, and as you can see, it's like you can't get it into his hand. It's gonna break his hand if you try to put that in there. So that's essentially worthless. The new gun that he comes with, Motormaster, can fit into his hand perfectly. So if you do have this guy and you don't have Motormaster yet, I would definitely wait to even attempt to put this thing on there, because I don't want to break the hands on my figures. So at least they offer a solution later on. But yeah, there he is. And for size comparisons, just like the others, I have Magic Square Jazz, a New Age Constructicon, there's Scrapper, and Magic Square's Megatron. And now here he is with the previous releases so far. Mr. Loosey Goosey, Dead End, and Wild Rider. So, yeah, I think they look decent together. Alright, so final thoughts on RF-L03 Hyena, their Dragstrip. So far, this is definitely my least favorite of the bunch. With the proportions are just terrible. I just, like, the chest just looks awful to me. I don't feel like there was really much effort put into that, unfortunately. But I mean, the the tolerances are great, opposed from the fact that he literally can't hold the weapon that he comes with. Kind of sucks that you have to wait for a future release to fix a problem that was on the original figure, but whatever. I mean, at least we got the corrected part later on down the line. Yeah, I mean, definitely not as good as the other ones, and that's saying a lot since Dead End has such terrible, not proportions. He has such terrible tolerances. So yeah, he's okay. He's cheap figure. So, but at the end of the day, you can say cheap figure, great for its price, but then at the same time, we also have the Tiger Wing, the knockoff Magic Square version, which is around the same size as these guys, that is per piece cheaper. So it's up to you whether or not you want to buy these guys or get them. But so far, I'm definitely steering towards the other one. But if you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out some of my other videos, my Transformers reviews, or my Armored Core models, or whatever I'm making nowadays at the time you view this. If you want to give me a follow on any of my socials, my link tree is in the description. Yeah. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.